Good Sunday afternoon to you, and welcome to OmniBros Live. You have tuned in to the Sunday morning show. Sometimes we have coffee, sometimes we have news. I forgot coffee, and I don't know any news, but I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, joined, as always, by the fabulous Comics Guide 101's Lou. Lou, how's it going?
Salma Hayek be praised.
All praise to Salma.
I'm good.
Had a big book stack as a backdrop, and I thought, I think the viewers would appreciate this more. Of course, we do have a couple of female viewers, but female beauty, other females can appreciate it, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
And if we get a complaint, I'll change it. It's easy to change, so if anybody's offended, I'll change it. So how's it going, buddy?
Man, I'm good. Who knew that planning a wedding was a lot of work, right?
Oh my gosh, I remember it.
Oh,
I remember I had a mother-in-law involved, so I stayed the hell out of everything.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of work, and it's really expensive. Planning is really expensive.
Yeah.
As we are discovering that, it's like, oh well, you got to pay the cake person, you got to pay the videographer, you got to pay the photo person. I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Part of the reason why I haven't been on as much lately is just because I've been bouncing back and forth from Miami and here on the weekends a lot. So.
And is it in her hometown? Her place?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do it in Miami, simply because it's just easier for everybody. And next year, during the summer, I plan to move out there, to be with her. But for the most part, right now, I'm still stuck here till the end of the school year.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Wow, that's gonna be a big change for you.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't really have anything that's got me tied down here, so I'm looking forward to getting out to Miami and starting over.
I think it sounds like it's exciting. It's a whole new big change, big life change.
Oh yeah. You know what else is exciting, Jess?
Would that be the discounts you can get from InStockTrades.com?
Oh, you are correct.
You are good at reminding me about that. InStockTrades.com, also known as IST, is our fabulous sponsor, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. They are kind enough at the end of every month to give us a gift card for $50, good anywhere. You can enter the contest anywhere in the world. You're just going to have to pay for shipping, but everybody's eligible. And $50 or more in an order will get you free shipping in the United States. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Oh man, they are so good to us.
They are good to us.
So what's been going on, man? What have you been doing lately? Because I haven't been on in a while.
Let's see. Last Sunday, I think Gabe and I did mostly shelfies, and then Monday we did the show, Halls Reads and Previews. And I need a haircut really badly. I'm trying to tuck it up under my hat because it looks awful. And Thursday, Ryley and I had the chill episode. And it was so chill, I don't even remember what we talked about.
Has that been kind of the thing Thursday, where everybody just kind of kick back and shoot the shit for a little bit?
It has been recently, yeah. Because it was sort of like everybody's all flipped out about all kinds of different things. Let's just have an episode where we relax and talk about what's fun and on our minds and comic books we like and suggestions.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now in the world.
Yeah, Joe Cool says, we talked about chilling. That's what we did. There is serial and PS5 video game talk. That is true. That is something, because I put out a video of my old collector's showcase when I was a youngster, and I had on a serial collector.
Wait, hold up. That's a thing?
Oh, dude, I have 35 shows of every episode. You're going to go, that's a thing. Yeah.
Do people collect cereal? Like the boxes?
The boxes, yeah.
Is there a sealed and not sealed kind of variation? Like if it's sealed, it's more money?
Well, as a matter of fact, real collectors, or if somebody's going to want to buy it, doesn't want the cereal in it, because if it gets old and can attract bugs. So they'd rather that you open it carefully, take out the cereal and chuck it, and then put it back together. Although there are, I think, well, he on the episode he brought cereal and I put on a bathrobe and we ate it at the end credit. I poured milk on it. So the really big thing is the premiums that used to come with them. Like actually, I can go grab one right now that I have. Just a sec. I know where it is.
Are you talking about the toys? All the stuff that comes? Oh, wow. Because I know like Happy Meal toys, there's a market for that. People that collect
I have a Happy Meal show in the hopper.
Yeah.
I interviewed somebody that collected Happy Meal toys. This is what you used. This is a Captain Crunch.
Wow.
Let's see. Is it hooked up? I don't think I have it hooked up right. No, it's not hooked up right, but it could work because there's a rubber band in there. But there's the Captain Crunch with Sea Dog.
Wait, who's Sea Dog?
That's his doggy. Sea Dog.
I didn't know Captain Crunch had a dog.
When he first came out, he had a whole sort of character playlist with him. Like Jean Lafitte was the pirate that was always after Captain Crunch. There was a girl on the ship too, but I can't remember her name. But yeah, this is Sea Dog. And then the Crunchberry Beast, of course. And this just needs me to take care of it a little bit. It's just come apart. But yeah, this was something we talked about, and all the premiums that you used to either get in cereal or, you know, $5 tops and send away for it, and you'd get it.
Cool. Yeah, I remember that used to be a thing where you would do the box tops and then you'd send them in through the mail, and eventually it would take you like months later you get something back in return and stuff like that. They don't do that anymore, I think, though.
It's been so long since I've eaten that kind of cereal that I don't know what they give away.
So what was your poison as a kid? What was your favorite
cereal?
Yeah, man.
It was let me think. Wait a sec. My wife is messaging me an emergency text.
All right. She's watching the stream and is wondering what's going on with Simon.
Who's that woman? Okay, no problem. Let's see. In college, I loved Fruity Pebbles. As a youngster, what did I like the most? I liked, Captain Crunch always hurts the roof of my mouth.
I hate Captain Crunch.
I love it as a concept, but Captain Crunch always hurts my mouth. There was a cereal that was great, but it didn't last very long. I can still smell and taste it. It was called Kaboom. It had a clown on it, and it was just your basic fruity cereal imitation thing. I'm trying to think of Frosted Flakes were okay. That's back when sugar was in the title. Like it was Sugar Frosted Flakes.
That's the good stuff, man. The OG one.
Yeah, Sugar Smacks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Honeycomb was a good cereal. I like that. I don't know if they probably still make honeycomb.
Man, as a kid, I used to be able to down sugar without a problem. Now, I just can't take it as much as I used to. I remember my mom would take me out Friday nights. We would go to Blockbuster. I'd pick something out, and I'd get like a pack of Jolt Cola. Do you remember Jolt Cola? There's like 80% sugar in that thing, and
the rest was caffeine.
And the rest was caffeine. So I'd get Jolt Cola and a box of cereal, and that would be my dinner Friday night. Jess, I could see sound. By the time I was going Friday night, I was wired like hell. And I would eventually just pass out in a sugar coma like around 12 o'clock at night.
Lucky Charms was always good for me. I always liked Lucky Charms.
I was a Cocoa Puffs kind of guy. I loved Cocoa Puffs.
Oh yeah, Cocoa Puffs and Cocoa Krispies. Those were both good. Because then you could get the milk afterwards, and it was chocolate milk.
Oh, this talk is making me hungry. The chat.
Yeah, let's see. We talked about hot toys because I bought a hot toy. Cereal boxes with round spines. That's funny. Oh, nerd cereal. Those boxes I don't know how much they could fetch, but I don't remember Nerds being on the market for very long. So I think Nerds cereal boxes could be worth something.
Wait, Nerds as in the little candies?
I guess so. Nerds cereal. Yeah, it must have had a cereal version.
Huh. I never knew that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, now you're getting in your 30s, and I'm gonna be pre-diabetic soon if I keep eating like this. So
that was my quote in there. That right before we ate Cinnamon Life. Yeah, that is a good cereal. I'm just seeing what everybody liked here. Oh, Kix. I remember Kix.
Oh, Kix was terrible. I don't like Kix.
Honey Bunches of Oats. Those are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I did say right before the show, and then somebody commented in the episode. I said before I ate the cereal, I'm pre-diabetic, so I had to bet this will put me over the top. And then it said 2016 Jess. Oh, can I have another root beer float? It was a great comment.
Oh man, 2016 Jess did not give a damn. Float for breakfast.
Lou, you have to watch it. Just a cereal end credit scene beats any MCU end credit scene. Thank you, Taylor. Let's see. Eating crunch berries now in salute. All right. Just have you thought about trying to get back in touch with the cereal box collector, or do you think he now only talks to other members of the Forbes Rich list? Kevin was a good guy, but he moved shortly after that. I think he may still be into Freakies, but that was 30 years ago.
Oh, you never gave it up.
I know he moved right after that. He was a very nice guy, but he moved right after that up to like Massachusetts or something.
Have you kept in touch with anybody from those days, from those collector days?
From those shows? Yeah, only one guy. And I had him on for comic books.
Cool.
His name's Gene. He's a really well-known dealer around the country. I've gotten some amazing comic books from him. The comics he sells are in immaculate condition, and I had him on. I had 2 or 3 comic book episodes on the show. He was a good guest, and so I still see him at shows and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really fun.
He's the only one that I run into.
This is this guy's job. It's just he scours the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's all he's done for the past. Well, I had him on 30 years ago, and that's all he was doing. So for the past, I think it's been his life is being a comic book dealer.
Wow, that's a hell of a job.
Yeah, it requires an awful lot of travel, though.
I can imagine.
Let's see what else is going on. The Pop-Tart episode didn't go well, so I don't know how well a cereal tasting episode would go.
I mean, we could try. No, we're not going to try that. The Pop-Tart episode bombed really bad. We still get flack for that.
Yeah. This is a good question, and I'm going through the episodes myself now that they're digitized and on the internet, where I can download them and edit them. The weirdest collection. I thought anything that people collected was interesting, and I made a challenge to myself. I will interview and make it interesting, no matter how crazy the collection is. And I think I can't believe I got a whole half hour out of a woman that collected bottle openers. That was pretty good, I thought.
Bottle openers.
Bottle openers, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A very nice woman collected perfume bottles.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I got some. There's a lot of toy collectors.
That's really blown up in the last few years, though. The toy.
Yeah, and you will find this interesting because of how far back his collection goes. I had him on twice. He collected black memorabilia.
Oh, wow.
And his collection went way back to the early 1900s.
Wow. And
I'd be interested when I put that on the air if there's any controversy over it. He's African American himself, and he always felt that showing this stuff, you knew to understand where we are now, you have to understand how we got here. Mm-hmm. That was always his philosophy, and you need to study the past in order to know why we're here where we are. He was a super nice guy and very very matter of fact about all this stuff. But there was a lot of interesting stuff, but there was a shitload of really offensive stuff that was sold, like that was marketed to people, and he I had him on twice, and he'd be a guy I'd be interested in getting in touch with. Wonderful.
Yeah, I would actually love to hear if you got back in touch with him, because that's fascinating to me, and I agree. I think that stuff like that should not be, and we've kind of talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
Stuff like that should not be censored. It should not be just buried away and we never acknowledge it or anything like that, because that's how you have a lot of that stuff that repeats again, because you just kind of sweep it under the rug, and that tends to kind of rear its ugly head again, as we saw probably this weekend. So that's time period and those cartoons and stuff. Yes, is it horrible? Absolutely. But is it important to address it and not forget it and to be aware that it happened? Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
He was the one that told me about the cartoon that you pointed me to on YouTube, Cold Black and the Seven Dwarves or whatever it was.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
He said he knew it existed, but there's no way that it would ever be allowed out for people to see it. And that's why I was so shocked when you told me about the 11 racist cartoons or whatever.
I forgot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We discussed this on the show years ago live.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a specific name for it, but it's like the 11 most racist cartoons of all time, and I think Disney Disney has is part of that. Has one of them.
Well, you can't get all of Songs of the South.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get it all together on YouTube here. But my daughter and I did a VPN through I don't know. We went through Denmark or something and found a way to put all the it's cut up here in the United States and in Europe, but you put the whole movie together and watch it in bit it like all the way through. If you go through a VPN and get the rest of the cartoon, the Songs of the South.
Yeah.
And I think it's 11 racist cartoons or something like that on YouTube. And wow, this Coal Black cartoon was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad.
It was remarkably awful. It was heartbreaking almost. Like, this is what it was like, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. And that's kind of the thing where that's kind of thing where I'm worried as far as, you shouldn't address or you shouldn't talk about these things that happened back in the day, or or the oversensitivity of today where you're afraid to offend somebody, even discussing something that happened. Not that you're saying it's a good thing, but even the thought of discussing something about what happened back then, that rubs me the wrong way. I think it's important to have those discussions, and I think it's important to address those things and to be aware that, like I said, that they happen and stuff. And some of it is deeply, deeply problematic. One of the reasons why I was so disappointed that we didn't get the classic age Shazam collection a few years ago. Remember that? But there was the classic age Shazam collector edition was supposed to come out a few years ago. However, DC Comics, in all their infinite wisdom, decided they're not going to put it out because some of the stuff that was back then was a bit racist. You've got Billy Batson doing blackface in a few panels, and yeah, I don't think DC Comics wanted to put that out, which I think, hey, they should have just went ahead and put it out and put a disclaimer at the front of the book saying, hey, this was a time period, this does not reflect our current thoughts. Some of the material in here might be offensive to some people, da 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 da.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can see their viewpoint, but I also know that I don't like censored things. I guess they had to weigh how much flack they'd take.
Right. And that's kind of why I'm such a big proponent for physical media in books and in movies, simply because in streaming services, we've already seen that they've canceled, they've removed episodes from seasons, or they've edited stuff to take away anything even remotely a little bit racially sensitive. There was like an episode of Community, one of my favorite shows, where one of the characters was dressed as a dark elf. It's not racist. He was dressed as a dark elf, and he's Asian, and they axed the episode because they thought that some people would find it offensive. And you can't find it on streaming sites anymore.
Oh,
yeah. And it's one of the best episodes of Community. It's the D&D episodes, for those of you that have seen Community. So I hate that kind of stuff. I think within the right context, it's important.
Yeah, I totally agree. So every Thursday is going to be Throwback Thursday, where I'll have one of these videos, and I'm going to have a little introduction about it. And there, let me think. There was a guy who collected things made of plastic, like Bakelite plastic. He was actually an interesting guest, but that episode wasn't lit very well. But I'm going to do it anyway. The best one was the JFK collector. He collected JFK memorabilia.
Oh, wow.
Like, he had JFK's wallet on the day he was shot, and he had he has Abraham Lincoln's hat, not from the day he was shot, but he has Abraham Lincoln's hat.
Wow.
He had all kinds of stuff from the. He has JFK's passport and Jackie's passport.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. How? Why and how is my question? How do you get all that?
I think I asked him that on the show, and he said that that a lot of staffers, after JFK got shot, a lot of staffers just grabbed everything they could because they knew the transition was going to happen fast with LBJ moving in, and they just grabbed all kinds of things, and then as they got older, they sold them off because they needed money.
Oh yeah, because they swore him in on a plane trip, like in the middle of the air. They're like, "All right, we're gonna swear you in right now. You're in charge."
Yeah.
Wow.
But that guy was fascinating. Unfortunately, that guy passed away a number of years ago, which is scary. He was not that much older than I was in that episode. But he had, I don't know, JFK's rocking chair, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of presidential memorabilia.
Maybe he knew too much.
He gave me a package of they used to give out matches, because everybody smoked back then, and it says John F. Kennedy, and then there's the White House on it.
Cool.
So I have a little piece of John F. Kennedy memorabilia, and that was one of the problems of the show, is that everybody that came on that was interesting, I wanted to start collecting their stuff. Well, I started collecting cereal boxes and lunch boxes, and there's a Barbie episode, so I started getting those for my daughter, and so my collection exploded back then.
Did you have a Simpsons guy? Because Simpsons collectors are serious.
My very first episode was they sold animation cells, and it was when The Simpsons was actually pretty young. It was 1992, so I think there was only like the second or third season of the second season of The Simpsons, and so we showed a bunch of those. But I've never run into a Simpsons collector. Like, is there? I guess there must be really valuable Simpsons stuff.
I would assume so, because I've heard of people that they're obsessed with Simpsons and they'll collect everything that they put out involving the Simpsons. Which, I mean, 30 years later, I'm like, why are you guys still obsessed with the Simpsons? They kind of peaked a long time ago.
You need a live after show like Talking Dead. That's actually not a bad idea.
It's not.
I could do a premiere episode where I could talk with fans after the episode, and that might be good for the Black Memorabilia one.
You
could ask me about that. It's not a bad idea there, Mr. Awesome. So yeah, that's Throwback Thursday for my show.
Nice.
And that you asked the question 15 minutes ago, what have you guys been talking about? And that was the answer.
So, Jess, actually, I wanted to ask you something. Because I was thinking, as I do, we know that DC Comics is kind of having its issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into it because that's beating a dead horse. But I wanted to ask you, if you were put in charge of DC, what would you do to steer the ship?
That's a good question, because I don't know how much in charge of DC the DC people are.
That's good one. Papa
Yeah.
AT&T shows up, you know, in all his cell phone glory, 5G glory, and all that stuff, and he comes and says, "We're putting you in charge of DC Comics." How would you steer it? Because really, I'm thinking AT&T probably has the biggest. AT&T and Warner Brothers has that death grip on them, and they call the shots more than DC itself at this point.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that the people in charge of DC before all the firings, they weren't. I mean, if you had asked me before that huge round of firings, I think the question would be, I'd try to get it more organized, and I'd try to get it more centralized, to where we would actually have a meeting all the consistently with everybody involved in the collected editions department, because I don't think DC did that initial during when Hank Canals was there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he was even involved in those meetings. I think Omar said one time he said he was talking to somebody that was in charge of something, and he said, "Yeah, there's." And the person on the phone said, "Yeah, there's a meeting going on right now." And Omar said, "You're not in that meeting?" And the guy goes, "No." So I don't. Now I just feel like there's. I know they have a new editor or publisher. I can't think of what her name is, but she's
I have it. Mary Javins, because I was looking at the story before we showed up.
Right. I think she's like a lifelong comics person.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows comic books. If they actually let her run the department, then I have ideas, but I just am worried that they don't see floppies as important at all. And I don't know how I feel about collected editions. There's still enough collected editions solicited out on the horizon that makes me feel like they do feel those are important. I guess the sort of rumor is they want to go digital and collected editions. But God, killing the floppy market would kill the LCS.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that because take this with a grain of salt, but wasn't it? I posted an article for you guys in the chat, and it was basically from Bleeding Cool that's exactly what the rumor was. The speculation is that they want to get rid of the floppies. They just want to do collected editions and digital, which we've been harping on that for years at this point. Gabe and I have been on that soapbox for years. That's probably what's going to end up happening. I think first, I think honestly, I'd just scale back the entire line. I think they have too much. You really don't need 6 Batman books. You don't.
I agree with that.
You can scale back the line a lot and get this thing focused in.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in sort of a weird period where we just don't know what the corporate overseers have in mind.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to say what I would do. If things were normal, I guess one of the first things I do is I probably would pare back that floppy line. I think there's too many. I don't know. There don't need. I don't think. Are there as many Batman titles as there were in the 90s and early 2000s? Because it felt like there were seriously 9 different Batman titles.
Let me see. That's a good question. Today. List of current DC Comics publications. How many Batman comics have been written? Does anybody in the chat, maybe somebody in the chat, be a lot easier? How many Batman ongoing comics are going on right now? Because there's got to be at least 4 or 5, and mind you, Batman and family. I'm talking about Batman in general.
Okay, yeah.
Red Hood, Nightwing, Batwoman. All the bat that you can want. Scale back on that.
Well, Batgirl just ended with issue 50, so I don't know what they're going to do with her.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. I got to read the new American Vampire. I forgot that came out. But
2017 just Shadow the Bat, Legends of the Dark Knight, Detective Comics, Batman in the 90s.
Batman in the 90s. There's Batman, Batman Beyond, Batgirl, Batman Superman, Batman 3 Jokers, Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. Goodness gracious. Catwoman, Dark Knight's Death Metal, Infinite Hour. What? Extreme?
Oh yeah, they're really going hardcore on the metal books.
Oh god. He's in Justice League also, so I guess you want to count that. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but that actually the Superman Batman book Secret Six, that's a really good book.
Is it really?
I did, yeah. I read it on Hoopla and liked it so much I bought the physical copy.
Oh, cool.
Gotham Knights, is there's floppy called Gotham Knight?
I think it's a bit too much, just a bit. A bit. Wow, a bit.
Yeah. The person to have on here who isn't on here is of course Gabe, who could help us figure out how to be how you could pare down the floppy line. Oh, Gotham Knights is a digital only singles book.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Point being, I'd start by scaling back. I would honestly start by scaling back and trying to get that collected editions department together in some way, shape, or form, organized. Because there's no rhyme or reason right now what gets collected and when.
And at least if you're going to solicit it, don't cancel it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that helps make fans lose faith. But I don't know. A year from now, I'd be interested in where we are with DC. We're in November. Of course, it's also hard now because of COVID, making it harder to go to your local comics shop. And I think things are going to get worse before they get better on that. Right now. I think we're headed into another lockdown like in January.
I think so too, honestly. I mean, our upcoming president said he won't, but now they're talking about, we might have to do that for a few months.
I mean, we have to get this thing under control. And actually, here's a really good point. I've been saying this for a while. DC needs to shelve the Joker.
Yes, I actually agree with you.
And I'm so sick of them.
I liked 3 Jokers. I didn't love 3 Jokers. I know that there are a lot of detractors out there for 3 Jokers. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was okay.
Okay, I am going to read it on Hoopla and make my decision.
I think Fabak is a star. He's the star of the book.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, his art in that is it's beautiful. It's Brian Boland-esque and it's absolutely gorgeous. That's really the star of the book. I liked the first 2 issues of it. 3rd issue, I was like, you kind of rushed it. You could use more breathing room. But for the most part, I thought 3 Jokers was okay. It wasn't bad.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to be reading it.
Bear in mind, I am the person that likes Predators, so throwing that out there. So my opinion might be a bit skewed. I think Gabe and I are still the only ones holding that torch high right now.
Oh, this is a good question because I don't know about it. Any thoughts on the all-in-one absolute planetary incoming? Too much for one book.
Is that a thing?
That's a good question. I didn't know about that. I think I knew planetary is going to be absolute, but I didn't know it was going to be one absolute. I think that's too big of a book.
I mean, how many issues were in the I think they could do it. Planetary is what, 27 issues? 24 issues?
Oh, you know what? I might have been thinking about the Authority. Where's the planetary?
Because Absolute Sandman had 20 plus issues in there.
What are we talking about? Planetary?
Yeah.
I can see that. That planetary omnibus isn't too big.
No, you could do an all-in-one planetary absolute.
It's going to be a Herkin absolute, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued at the thought of that art blown up because I really like that art. No, it's not bigger than Sin City. Big Damn Sin City's way big.
Oh no, you could crush somebody's skull with the big damn.
Yeah, that's way big. Well, here's an interesting one. For DC, I think they should diversify their lines. If girls, women are more apt to buy digital, create content specifically for that. One and done graphic novels for kids. They do have a lot of good all ages young adult books that I did a video on. The young adult books are some of the best things that I've read from DC this year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. They don't have to go grimdark or dark with every single title. They can do stuff like Superman Smashes the Klan, which was, from the sound of it, really successful and a damn great read.
Whew, gosh, I love that book.
Fantastic. I know he took basically the script from the time period back then, but if he kept going and did more of that stuff, I'm good. Just keep doing that stuff, man.
Yeah. How big was the Fourth World Absolute? I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't seem bigger than the top 10 Absolute from Alan Moore. That's a big absolute. It doesn't seem too. I mean, you're definitely going to have to set it on a table to read it. I did hear a rumor from Fat Jesus, but I think I can't source the rumor, and I don't know.
That's true.
Did we? It is true.
It is true. They're doing a book. They're doing a book at Image.
This is desperately bad news. They need to do Earth 1 Batman book number 3. That is what I want from those guys.
Yeah, they announced it this past week. They are doing a book at Image Comics, both of them. Okay, Jeff Johns hasn't been out of DC in how long? And now he's doing an Image comic book? I'm like, okay, well, writing on the wall, maybe? I don't know. Paranoid. The cynical, paranoid conspiracy theory guy in me is like, maybe writing on the wall? Jeff Johns? Top guy?
Abandoning the ship?
Yeah. The paranoid person in me, you know? Because Jeff Johns, if he starts doing solo, if Jeff Johns decides, okay, I'm leaving DC, whatever, abandoning ship, whatever, I'm going to do just pull an Ed Brubaker and I'm working exclusively with Image Comics, he will be just fine. Johns still has the clout in the name. Yeah, you know, a lot of people like to poo-poo on his name lately because some of the stuff he's put out, like Doomsday Clock and Three Jokers, wasn't exactly met with universal praise. But if he decided to jump ship and go exclusive to Image Comics, he'd be fine.
Yeah. Is this true, Taylor? They finished volume 3 already. They're just awaiting a solicit. You're my bat guy. You're the one I rely on for bat info. If so, Good luck to you then, Jeff. Have fun at Image. Best of luck. I will think about your comic at Image while I'm gratefully reading Volume 3.
No, if you start, I like what Hooniverse wrote. If you could highlight him, right there.
Wait a sec. Be worried.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a bit of a sign.
The end times are near when Jim Lee decides, you know what, I'm going to take another shot at drawing some stuff for Image again.
Oh, Taylor, all up in a huff because I questioned him. Just relax, dude. I hadn't heard it before. I don't think you'd even told me that. I know you're telling the truth. I just hadn't heard it. And also, you know what buttons to push on me, but you wouldn't push that button on me. Jeff Johns hasn't been at DC Comics since Metal. That's a Scott Snyder project, so he works out of his own media company now. He's been cozy just doing the DC movies and TV shows.
No, it's not necessarily the case. We've gotten a few books. We've gotten Doomsday Clock, and we just had 3 Jokers. So we still put stuff out there.
Here's a thought. Jeff Johns is a movie guy. Now he's trying his IP out at Image.
Just crazy theory of mine. You know, don't take it seriously, but, you know, it is food for thought.
Jeff Johns' JSA is fantastic.
It's great.
Absolutely fantastic.
Worth the read, man. And the omnibuses are great too.
Yeah. Let's see. What actually I know. Well, here's a good question. I'm probably out of this one, actually. Hi, guys. Since you two are such film buffs, will there be an OmniBros best of film list? Did we have enough releases to do that? Lou is a way bigger film buff than I am. I don't know that I could even compete in that or give a list. I love movies, but I just haven't seen anything recently.
Yeah, I think there's definitely plenty of stuff. There's streaming services that has still been released this year that because for those of you that don't know, actually that's a good point where the Omnis are going to be coming up soon. We usually do that with Christmas, right? Christmas, New Year's is when we do Omnis.
Yeah, towards the end of the year.
Yeah, so that's coming up next month. The Omnis are next month, which is our basically year wrap-up show. So we split it into 2 shows, which is just best of the year in general. And that's where we usually talk about like video games, movies, and stuff like that, and TV shows that we saw throughout the year. And that's where we'll do that. The second half of the Omnis, which is usually the following episode or the following week, is focused specifically on collected editions and comics. But there's been plenty of good stuff this year that we can still talk about. We had Invisible Man at the beginning of the year. Borat just came out, the second one, which was fucking hilarious. I have not laughed that hard and died and just to the point where I was hurting in years watching a movie. It was hilarious. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
I watched 4 episodes of Batman the Animated Series yesterday. That's the most I've watched of anything, really.
Are you enjoying that?
I am, yeah. And I talked to Taylor about it afterwards, and he gives me a rundown on any historical facts that went along with the episode and stuff. And because he knows every episode upside and inside out. Yeah, and I love hearing famous voices in it. It got an awful lot of really, really good voice talent, and that's really fun. To hear those. I just got done. I'm almost done with disc 2, so I may watch some more today.
How many discs are there?
At least 4.
Oh, so you're about halfway then.
I don't know that I'm done with season 1 yet.
What?
I feel like I don't think I'm done with season 1.
Wow.
I think there might be like 39 episodes for season 1.
Huh. Okay. Wow.
Psycho Seb. Yes. Justice is one of my all-time favorite books. I love that book. Deluxe edition. Absolutely grab it. You will not be sorry. It is so well written, and of course the art is great. So 100%. Definitely get Justice.
One has to go. Justice or Irredeemable?
Oh, fuck you. Oh.
One has to go.
I guess I'm keeping Irredeemable.
Wow. It still cannot be dethroned. Wow, man.
Justice is awesome, but Irredeemable is still my favorite comic of all time.
I still need to finish that.
I'm only showing this one because there might be other people out there that feel the same way as you, Fat Jesus. I'm not reading it because it's in singles. So I have no idea what's going on. I want to start the Dawn of X books. This I want to see. I want to read the Dawn of X books this week. Start with Dawn of X, but I don't know what's going on with X of Swords. But I think Candace said something like she agreed with him. Oh, yeah. Tried to get into that myself, Fat Jesus, and I was lost.
I kind of miss the days when the X-Men titles were just Powers of X and House of 10 or whatever it was called. Easy to keep up with. I'm like, all right, cool. I just bounced back between these two books.
What do you guys think of the Ultimates Omnibus? One of the first Omnis I ever got of Marvel, back when I was first getting into Marvel. I love it. It's great. That's the Mark Miller, Brian Hitch one.
I love the Ultimates.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. That
might be the best thing Mark Miller ever wrote, I think. What's better?
I think you're right, honestly.
I wanted to hear what was better. What's in contention?
For me, I would put Jupiter's Legacy pretty close.
That is good.
Because Jupiter's Legacy is fucking awesome.
It's really good.
Yeah. But I love the Ultimates. I love how over the top and fucking crazy it is.
Yeah.
The best way to describe the Ultimates would probably be if you remember when Michael Bay made good, fun movies. It's kind of like that. It's dumb. It's over the top, but Jesus, is it so fun?
It's a fun read. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think the Blu-ray box set for animated series re-divided up the seasons for some reason.
Huh.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to look on the DVD itself because it is the Blu-ray that I got. Somebody has been hinting at a silent reprint. Now I can't find it. There it is. Did you guys hear about the JSA Omnibus silent reprint? I did not. So the floor is yours, Spencer. Tell us about it.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I thought only Omni 2 was out of print. Are they all out of print? So Spencer, feel free to tell us everything you know, because I don't know anything about that.
Here's a good one. Ali, yes. I like that one from Ali.
From where, Ollie?
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy, that's a toughie.
That's a tough one. God damn it, I want
love Sanitary and I love Authority. And I loved what he did with Wildstorm last year.
I want another season of Castlevania.
Yeah.
I really do. Can we just let's just turn the other way from, okay, yeah, you're kind of a creep. All right, just write another season, Warren. Come, please.
Do it under a pen name.
Yeah.
Creepy old guy.
Erin Willis.
Creepy old guy.
Erin Willis. We'll let it slide.
I have a whole Warren Ellis. I finally started shelving some things by authors, and I have a Warren Ellis paperback section. Gosh, Ocean Orbiter is great. Global Frequency is fantastic. I don't know. Authority, Planetary. I guess I'm going to go with Authority.
Transmetropolitan.
Oh yeah, I didn't even say that one.
I'm gonna say Transmetropolitan is the best thing he's ever written.
Oh, Candace is right. James Bond series from him was great. Taylor Brown and I read that and for a Crime Corner and loved it. It was excellent. Okay. If you check Hey, I just checked. Warren is working on season 4 of Castlevania.
Is he? I thought he got kicked off the show. He's the sole writer of that series, so I don't know.
Huh. Spencer says, if you check Amazon or Cheap Graphic Novels, you can volume 2 and 3 listed for cheap. Huh. And this says, volume 2 and 3 reprints are only available on Amazon. So we have a battle in the chat. Somebody says Cheap Graphic Novels, and the other person says Amazon. Well, I know a place for books that's named neither of those, and it's called InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. There is always a $50 gift card given out at the end of the month for us to give to a lucky viewer like you out there. And $50 of books ordered in an order gets you free shipping in the United States. That's amazing. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Sing it, yes.
Thank you. Omni One is out there. Paying the renters. I noted everybody says CGN has these books.
Okay, so apparently Ellis finished working on season 4 of the scripts for Castlevania, so that's done. After season 4 is when they're going to move forward without Ellis on the show.
Huh. Okay.
So we'll have one more good season of writing on Castlevania before I'm sure they just
wrap it up and end it, or just get a new writer?
They'll get a new writer probably after this season.
Yeah, that's Mr. Awesome. That's Gabe's department. He has them all on his computer. No, I am not selling you my Captain Britain Omni.
Maybe they'll hire Grant Morrison or something.
That I'd watch that.
Actually, that'd be trippy as balls too.
Here's a good question. Are you guys going to talk about scalping and flipping? I hadn't thought about that. Are we talking about people that scalp and flip omnis? Give us a little more. I've never even thought about that. Can you give us a little more of an idea of what you want in a show about that? I don't know that we can get a whole show out of that, but we could certainly talk about it. This is Sergio wants to know more about Transmetropolitan.
Ooh, man. Can you sum up Transmit? Gabe would probably be the best one to sum it up.
Yeah. It's by Spider. It's about Spider Jerusalem.
Yeah. He's a gonzo reporter a la Hunter S. Thompson. It's set in the future, and it's a giant commentary on the state of news, media, politics, culture, basically everything going on in the world. This was written in the 90s, and it's more fucking relevant now than it ever has been.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant.
I think I have to show this picture because I think it's cute. Taylor Brown says, we're corrupting his child with the Salma.
Oh,
he's watching it on the big screen with us.
Oh, my God. And people are talking about scalping in the chat a lot. Have you seen some of the prices these PS5s are going for right now?
Oh, speaking of PS5, you got one, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
And what game did you play? Are you playing the Miles Morales Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot. I love the PS5. That is oof. I love that system.
Oh, okay. And is there any other game that you're playing with it, or is that what you're concentrating on now?
Mostly on Miles right now. I've got like a few things that I'm going to revisit a lot of older titles that I just haven't gotten to. But my main draw right now is the Miles Morales game, and I'm finishing that up. It's not a long game. It's only about 6-8 hours if you just go through the main story. So it's not too long. Yeah, it's pretty short.
I still have to finish the first one or start the first one.
It's a fun game, man.
So was it delivered to your door, or did you have to go pick it up?
It was delivered to my door. Amazon came through for me.
And are they actually selling for some of these wild prices?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
I read online about a guy that he walked out of Target and he had it in his shopping cart, and apparently a guy just walked up to him and said, "I'll give you $1,200 for that system right now, cash."
$1,200
cash. And guy took it. Guy took the deal.
Well, hell yes, he did.
If anybody wants to Venmo me $1,200, I will mail you the PS5 this afternoon. Toot sweet.
Yeah.
See, Hugo ended up selling his.
It took some work to get an extra PS5, so that money was earned.
Yeah.
Wow, $1,100.
Yep.
Somebody's asking you about Demon Souls.
I got that too. Yeah, I got that too. Haven't been playing it. That's kind of in the background right now. I'm trying to finish up Miles Morales.
What's Demon Souls? Is that a game that's too hard for me?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very tough game. It's fun.
Okay. All right. Then forget it. Okay. Well, what do you say? It's been an hour. We've had a great chat. We've actually answered a lot of questions. And had a good. The chat's been great today. Thank you to the chat. You guys have been awesome. Thank you to InStock Trades, our fabulous sponsor. Thank you to my co-host, Lou.
Hey,
it's good to see you, Lou.
Thank you.
And thank you to people who are watching this afterwards. If you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. We always will respond to comments. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time will be OmniBros live hauls, reads, and previews. And there's some good stuff coming out next week. Mm-hmm. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.